Prophetically, we are on the verge of the Gog Magog war that Ezekiel described in chapters 38 and 39.
In response to growing violence in the Middle East and Iran's retaliatory attack against Israel, evangelical pastor John Hagee claimed that Iran's strike against Israel was the beginning of an apocalyptic war from the Bible. But Hagee actually wants the war to happen, as you're about to hear him explain. Let's listen.
The Democrats are trying to advise Israel to de-escalate, which is music to the ears of Hamas and Iran. We don't need to de-escalate. Hamas started a war murdering Jewish people. Hamas needs to be wiped out, period. You know, the providential timing of God is an awesome thing. Early in the week, when I began to feel the way this was going, I told our Christians United for Israel organization, we're going to have a Washington, D.C. fly-in. This is an emergency fly-in. That means you fly in one day instantly and have a meeting with Congress. After the service today, I'm going to get on a plane and fly to Washington, D.C. 250 more leaders from across the nation are going to converge there also. We're going to go to face the House of Representatives face to face and tell them to stop shuffling papers and actually do something to help Israel. God structured this in just a way that the door is now open and we're going to go through it like a bulldozer, I assure you that.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
The door is now open and we will go through it like a bulldozer. Now, what's the deal and why is he so excited about the Gog and Magog war? Well, this is something we've been talking about on the show when we discuss things like the Israel lobby, which should not be mistaken as a Jewish lobby. The Israel lobby consists of evangelicals who look forward to the end times, and the end times would not be good for the Jewish people. So here's what his organization, Christians United for Israel, has stated. Christian support for Israel is based on the promises of God in Scripture that affirm a future for the Jewish people and God's continued faithfulness to the nation, not on prophecies regarding the end times or speeding the return of Christ. But that doesn't actually track with Hagee's excitement for the Gog and Magog war, which, like, anyway. Considering how serious it is, right? And considering the death and destruction, that name is fascinating. But in the Bible, Gog is the leader of Magog, a place in the far north that many evangelicals believe is Russia. According to Ezekiel's prophecy, Gog will join with Persia, now Iran, and other Arab nations to attack a peaceful Israel like a cloud that covers the land. Many evangelicals believe this battle will bring on the rapture, the end times event, when God spirits away the good Christians to heaven before unleashing plagues, sickness, and other horrors on the unbelievers remaining on earth.
God, you good Christians must love that idea. Oh my God, we're gonna murder everyone and we're gonna have plagues and sickness. They didn't believe the things we believed and they're all going to be tortured. We're such good Christians.
The door has been opened, Cenk.
Okay.
So in other words, Israel has to be attacked in order for the apocalypse to destroy everyone except the Christians, which will be saved by the second coming.
Oh, as long as the Christians are saved, murder for everyone else. Such a wonderful, loving God. Remember, guys, it's not actually the Bible. It's their interpretation of the Bible,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
So like a lot of good Christians read the Bible and go, oh, the Gog and Magog stuff seems a little bit outdated and a little kooky. But you know, I love the part where it's Sermon on the Mount, where Jesus actually speaks to the New Testament, where he talks about taking care of the needy, the poor, and being kind and loving and being the Prince of Peace. Now, think about it, if you're a Christian, you know, look, I don't believe the things that you believe. I think believing Gog and Magog is clinically insane, okay? But if you're a Christian and you think, well, the devil's real and he's in the world. Now, of course, everybody knows the devil's gonna come in disguise. He's not gonna be like, hey, I'm the devil, right? So would he come as someone who is Jewish? That doesn't seem likely. Would he come as someone who's Muslim? Well, that'd be a pretty big heads up to the Christian folks. They wouldn't get tricked by that. That seems unlikely. Wouldn't he come as a Christian pastor who's telling you that Jesus was not the Prince of Peace, but that Jesus wanted death and destruction, and that he says we don't want to de-escalate? Do you see, if you read the New Testament at all, you're a real Christian, do you think that Jesus would think, well, I don't want to de-escalate? I want more people killed. Really, you got that out of the New Testament? He said, we want to wipe them all out. That's what you got out of the New Testament, was that Jesus wanted to wipe everyone out?
I want to give you this tweet from Pastor Hagee from over the weekend. He writes, the king is coming again very soon, and the church will be called to meet him in the air.
Good, why don't you meet him in the air now? Go take a plane, jump out of it and meet him in the air. Okay, I ain't got nothing to do with it, but go ahead. But hey, listen, if you believe in the voodoo, I don't believe so. I think Hagee, if there is a devil, it's exactly someone like Hagee. And all the other evangelical preachers telling you how they need private jets and mansions and all that stuff. Imagine Jesus, who said, give away all of your worldly belongings and follow me. If you were the devil, you would of course be an evangelical preacher telling everybody to obsess about money, to give all of their hard-earned money to those preachers so they can have 12 jets and invade more countries and kill more people. That is exactly what you would do if you were the devil.
And guys, look, the reason why I felt that it was important to show you his statement in that video is because of what he also says about his plan of action, what he is planning to do alongside, in his words, hundreds of other religious leaders. They're going to Washington, D.C. to lobby Congress to prevent the de-escalation of war in the Middle East. Okay, like this is why the types of decisions that seem to make no sense get made in DC by members of Congress. It's not about doing the right thing. It's not about preventing civilian casualties, civilian deaths. It's about doing right by their donors, by those who are lobbying toward them. And that's why following Iran's attack, incredibly weak attack, which caused absolutely like no death, no damage in Israel, you have all these neocons lining up in corporate media demanding for the escalation of more war. Guys, it's so devastating. Innocent people are going to die if our government decides to go along with this.
Yeah, look, Anna's 100%. The number one problem here is that this stuff works. So I read into a lot of the Christians United for Israel, that's Hagee's organization. So number one, do you know that they raise $100 million annually, every single year, and hand it over to Israeli groups? And so some of those are that help the settlers, that drives even more violence and more conflict. And second of all, they do these fly-ins all the time. Like if you and I did a fly-in to DC, it would be hilarious because almost no legislator would meet with us.
We don't have money.
Because we don't have money, right?
Come on.
But these Christians United for Israel fly in, all these pastors, and they all come in. I think that they're like literally the most, they're almost escaped mental patients, right? They come in their outfits and they're like, Gog Magog, listen to us, Gog Magog is coming. And then they're like, yeah, by the way, here's a check. And all the politicians are like, all right, Gog Magog it is. Who do you want us to murder? Okay, and so unfortunately, when they do these fly-ins, they have a track record of enormous success because they come packing money and what the politicians believe is a lot of evangelical voters. By the way, I think they're totally wrong about that in today's America. That used to be very true, but a lot of the right wing has left that camp.
Yeah.
And they're in the camp of, no, I'm not interested in going to have my son go to the Middle East and die there for no goddamn reason. So I don't want to hear about your stupid Gog and Magog. So last thing on this, so do they care about Israel? Now, we've covered this many times, of course not. But I recently read about a documentary by a Jewish filmmaker. She went and covered these people and wanted to see, hey, why do they love Israel so much? And of course, what she found out is they do not love Israel. One of the pastors said, you don't want me to tell you why I'm helping you. She's like, yeah, I do. Okay, so he finally spits it out. He goes, the Jews are arrogant and God will humble them.
Jesus.
But first, they need to start a giant war in the Middle East, in Israel itself. So because they have this end times prophecy, not in the Bible at all, made up by a lunatic evangelical preacher in America in the 1970s about how Israel has to take over an entire area, has to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and then Jesus is going to land in the air, or Hagee's going to catch him in the middle. And then they're going to suck up all the good Christians. Yeah. And by the way, the last part's really important. Murder all of the rest of us, including all of the Jews in Israel and about 8 billion people. And that's the fantasy that they're looking forward to. I wish God would come down and murder everyone.
Yeah, imagine salivating over that notion and thinking you're the good guy.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.